Yeah, my name is Troy Baring. I'm the CEO and founder of Diagnostic. We're developing the first portable diabetes detection and monitoring saliva test. Our vision and mission is to empower people with type 2 diabetes to better manage and reduce long-term diabetes risk. Early detection and reaching your A1C targets sooner can reduce diabetes complication and cost. My wife, she has type 2 diabetes, and it took her more than several years for her to be able to reach her target A1C with the existing diagnostics that are in the market today. People with type 2 diabetes, they struggle to achieve their A1C targets in the recommended 3 to 6 months. In fact, it normally takes years, not months. And it's not because they don't want to do better. In fact, it's just the opposite. They want to do better. The ADA has identified that the failure to initiate or escalate therapy is a major barrier to managing type 2 diabetes. And for minorities, it's even more challenging addressing healthcare disparities. Minorities have a higher prevalence of type 2 diabetes. Yes, they're less likely to be adequately diagnosed and timely treated. They're less likely to be offered the newer drugs and continuous glucose monitors, but they are more likely to have diabetes-related complications. And they have the added risk that hemoglobin A1C, which is the current standard, could be an unreliable diabetic biomarker for them. And that's why lower cost, proven diabetic markers are actually needed to change the current trend in diabetes for the minority population. And so our solution, we provide laboratory accuracy using saliva instead of blood, testing every 2 weeks for faster confirmation of how you're managing your diabetes, whether it's diet, exercise, or medication. And we are using the diabetic biomarker glycated albumin. And so our device consists of a disposable cassette and a disposable saliva collection device, and a reusable reader and phone app for tracking and trending and providing that data to your healthcare provider. There's no special dietary requirements needed. So again, no laboratory test, no finger pricks. You get results in less than 2 minutes. And glycated albumin is actually a better diabetic biomarker than hemoglobin A1C in some populations. So what enables us to make this work, is what we call lab on a chip. It's a graphene field effect transistor that's biocompatible, that has high sensitivity and specificity, and actually addresses the shortcomings of a well-known field effect transistor called carbon nanotube technology. And so this technology, our graphene field effect transistor, actually builds on a promising preclinical study that shows that carbon nanotube technology can actually detect that glycated albumin in saliva is equivalent to glycated albumin in blood. And GFETs, or graphene field effect transistors, they've already shown that they have laboratory accuracy. And again, glycated albumin is a well-established long-term clinical diabetic marker that has a lot of clinical data behind it. Our initial market focus is on the 260 million plus people with type 2 diabetes that are already seeking treatment to manage their type 2 diabetes, whether they have affordability issues with continuous glucose monitoring, they don't want to go to expensive lab tests, or they have, for example, gestational diabetes, which is a huge challenge because that test requires the oral glucose tolerance challenge test, which is very difficult for women. That's our initial focus area. And our target customer is the endocrinologist. They're already familiar with glycated albumin. They understand that it's reimbursed. They know how to use it to detect diabetes and actually to manage things like gestational diabetes. We have a very conservative patient ramp model, and we have a razor blade model as well, where the expected revenue per person with type 2 diabetes is about $40 a month. And that compares to the $100 to $150 that diabetics currently pay out of pocket for over-the-counter supplies. Since glycated albumin is already approved for blood today, we believe we have a clear regulatory path. We also have the opportunity to get special breakthrough designation because we're focused on healthcare disparities. We have a very experienced team. We've launched numerous 510K and PMA products from concepts to commercial successes. Our advisors are well experienced in diabetes private practice, clinical research studies. And we also have a partnership with a very prominent historical Black college university hospital. And right now we're currently in phase 1, which is the product development phase. And our goal is to complete that within the next 18 to 24 months. And again, our goal is to launch in the physician's office, focus on existing reimbursement and indications like gestational diabetes. Then moving into phase 2, our goal is to actually optimize the device for home use, and then expand into primary care physicians and markets outside of the US. Our ask is for $4 million over 18 months to actually get the FDA approval. And we're looking to partner with someone that really wants to change the fundamental way that diabetes is detected and managed for minorities.